this is the Innovator of Violence, Tommy Dreamer, and you're listening to CNY Podcast, giving you all your podcasting wrestling experience to the extreme.
Welcome, everybody. We are back air at the CNY Wrestles Podcast. This is your host, Mike Jones-Billadu. Today we have a big show. We're going to be talking to New York Championship Wrestling star Scotty Aero. We're going to recap the Tag Title Turmoil card that happened back in November. Sorry that's a little late, but better than never. Show's been on a little bit of a hiatus, mostly because of the holidays and work and not being able to coordinate schedules to get guys on the show, which isn't a problem. Not complaining. We're here for you guys, the listeners. We would love some feedback, though. We're not getting much feedback, so I want to hear from you guys. What do you want to hear? What guests do you want to see on the show? You got to let us know so we can do more of what you want to hear. So we're going back now to Tag Title Turmoil, New York Championship Wrestling's second show. It was at the Whitesboro Accelerate Sports Complex on November 17th. Featured a main event, the Stepdads versus Killer Instinct versus the Mutts versus the Street. And New York Championship Wrestling crowned their first tag team champions in the Stepdads after that match. The Stepdads were on our show on our last episode, along with Mike Skyros of Killer Instinct. Stepdads are great, two great guys, great tag team. They have been tag team champions before in true wrestling. They're going to be great representatives of New York Championship Wrestling, and I think the crowd really dug them once they realized what their shtick was. Also on the show, the Beast of the Northeast, Brute Van Slyke, defeated Fox Vinier. Scotty Aero, our guest tonight, defeated Dante Dio. Kirby Wackerman defeated Joey Adams. Tyler Vincent and Lance Madewell teamed up to take on Ronnie Ribbs and High Voltage Omar. There was a run in there, and the Savage Wolves ran in, and High Voltage Omar and Ronnie Ribbs picked up the victory. The reason why the Savage Wolves attacked was because Lance Madewell saved Guy Sidlowski and Danny Adam from a beatdown from the Savage Wolves during their match, and Lance Madewell threw out a challenge to the Savage Wolves. So there's a little bit of a build-up of some storyline going there. The Savage Wolves, the Lance Madewell, Guy Sidlowski, and Danny Adam. Tyler Vincent, however, stayed behind during the match and kind of got into a little altercation with Omar and Ronnie Ribbs. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a singles feud, hopefully coming about with Omar and Tyler Vincent. Also on the show, Benjamin Blackwell was victorious over outsider Corbin Dane. And there was also a battle royal. The Nazi Mafia was in there. Wayno, Bobby Bates, Victor Brand, Price Wright, The Great Nuka. And for the life of me, Jacoby Riddick of Killer Instinct won that battle royal. Coming up, we have Seasons Beatings coming up for New York Championship Wrestling. That's going to be on December 15th back at the Accelerate Sports Complex in Whitesboro. Let me see, do we have a card? We do have the main event featuring the Stepdads defending their tag team titles against the Mutts. There's going to be a four-way match between Benjamin Blackwell, Fox Vinier, Ronnie Ribbs, and the Honorable Jamar Justice. Dante Dio is going to team up with Price Wright and The Street to take on Scotty Aero, The Great Nuka, Bobby Bates, and Joey Adams. The Savage Wolves are going to face Tyler Vincent and Lance Madewell. Kirby Wackerman is going to take on Jacoby Riddick, and the Nazi Mafia is going to take on Wayno and Victor Brand. Also going to be an interesting match. Killer Instinct is going to take on the Ugly Ducklings, which could be very interesting. Also on the card will be High Voltage Omar, Ezekiel James, Guy Sadlowski, Danny Adam, Corbin Dane, and Brute Van Slyke. So the card is still taking shape, but we'll see more. We'll see more of the card in the coming weeks, I believe. So New York Championship Wrestling is really taking off, building some storylines, building some feuds. I'm really impressed with them. I was kind of hoping that at Tag Title Turmoil we might see a little more character development, which is coming. They're only on their second card, going on their third. And you can always do fantasy booking. Fans always do it, but it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. So I was kind of hoping to see more of the Great Nuka. I'm kind of intrigued by his character. He's clearly influenced by the Japanese style, and he wears face paint so heavy you can't really tell if he's really Asian. It's kind of hard to tell. And when you see him walking around after matches, he's got sunglasses on. So this guy's a little bit of a mysterious character, and hopefully we'll see more of him coming up. And the match between Scotty Aero and Dante Dio, I was kind of expecting a little more of a storyline build there. Scotty Aero went over kind of clean over Dante Dio, and I was kind of hoping to see more of these two, maybe build a feud out of it, but maybe they have other plans for these two guys. We'll see what's coming up for them. And I'm really hoping we see a program between Tyler Vincent and High Voltage Omar. I think those guys are pretty much the two top guys in the company besides Brute Van Slyke. And those two in the spotlight could bring in some good money for the show if they build it the right way and the fans get behind it. So we're going to get right into our next guest here on the podcast. We're going to talk to Scotty Aero. He's a standout from Truly Independent Wrestling who has made his way up to Utica area to participate in New York Championship Wrestling. And he's been a heel for New York Championship Wrestling, not really taken too well to the fans. The fans clearly are not behind him, but I think they dig watching him. They like to hate this guy. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Scotty Aero. Scotty Aero, thank you for joining us on the show. What's going on?
Not much. Right now, waking up, actually.
Late night of partying?
Yeah, you could say that.
So,
work.
Yeah. So you have been wrestling now for a couple months for New York Championship Wrestling out of Whitesboro. How has it been transitioning from TIW to NYCW?
It's more of the same, really. I mean, I go there to wrestle, so it's a different environment in a sense, but the same. It's it's wrestling.
Right.
I wish I could get more in depth, but there's Johnny's there.
Yeah, and your first match was supposed to be a triple threat with you and Dante Dio and Brute Van Slyke, but you walked out of that match. Why did you leave that match?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't know. I did no research on it. I didn't know Brute was giant. The dude's huge. I would have needed more preparation, more training for that match. More time to get ready mentally and physically, and I didn't do that. I saw Dante. Actually, I really didn't see Dante either. I didn't do a lot of preparation for that match. I figured I'd wing it on the fly, but he was just a very large individual. So I decided to take my better self and leave.
And later that night, you were forced to wrestle against Ezekiel James. Have you faced him before?
Yeah, we go way back in a sense, but I've never faced him like that. I got sideswiped in that one. He's another very large individual, and I know there's no real anyone can face anyone in wrestling. There's no real weight classes, but I like to be ready and mentally prepared. Yeah, I thought I was gonna face someone my own size, my own general weight, more of a fair fight. I mean, when you face me, it is fair generally. Usually they're at a disadvantage because I'm smart, but I was not ready.
And you came out prepared for your second match in New York Championship Wrestling. You faced Dante Dio in a singles match, and you beat him rather easily. Have you faced him before? Have you guys been in a program before?
No, we have never wrestled him. I actually just met him the first show. I've only seen him backstage. I've talked a bit with Omar, and he mentioned him before, but I was able to use my smarts that match. I prepared a little bit. I had a little bit of preparation that match. I watched a little footage. What any good wrestlers do.
So what are your goals in New York Championship Wrestling?
Win. Definitely win. Get some championship gold or silver or whatever they have. I don't know. They have tag team belts right now. I don't really work well with others, but definitely to win. You win more, you sell more, get more money. That's the goal in life, money.
About a week ago, there was a poll going around on Facebook that New York Championship Wrestling put out there to just kind of gauge the fans to see who they wanted to see in a World Championship tournament, and your name was on that list. Do you think the fans will get behind you and give you that support?
No, I would certainly hope so. Who doesn't want to see me? Scotty Aero is the center of attention. But if they say they don't want to see me, I'm sure it's just them, being generous to others, give others a chance. Because if they want to be real, it'd be a blowout. It'd be 99% Scotty Aero, and then maybe 1%. I don't know. Brute Van Slyke, he seems pretty popular, pretty hip.
So Scotty Aero hasn't really endeared himself to the fans of New York Championship Wrestling. Do you think that'll hurt your chances of getting in that tournament?
No, you can tell they love me. I mean, they might, we got our backs and forths, their differences, but deep down, they love me. I don't think it'll hurt my chances.
So let's say you have to face Brute Van Slyke in that tournament. Are you going to walk out?
Oh, no, that is for championship. I will, I'll use my smarts to, he's big, but there's always a way to beat. Everyone can be beaten. You just got to make sure you know what to do. You know how to utilize your surroundings and differences to win.
You faced some pretty big guys in TIW, one being Lance Madewell, who's also now in New York Championship Wrestling. How did your history begin with him?
Well, we didn't really meet much other than, I got to remember now. We met a couple times in Battle Royals. I think the first time we met one-on-one was, what was the show? The June or July show that was Battle at the Bentley Brook. I know we fought there and came out on top with the making him tap, I believe. And then after that, I was fine because then I went on to fight for the Bentley Brook Championship. And then we wrestled again at something. I can't remember names. I'm horrible.
Yeah.
But I know we wrestled a couple times after that, and each time you got the better of me. I didn't know I was gonna wrestle more, So I had my sights set on higher goals, and I just wasn't ready for Lance. And I would have, ate more greens and gotten a little bit bigger, but trying to keep up my fighting weight.
So a lot of guys from TIW that you're familiar with are now in New York Championship Wrestling, like Tyler Vincent, Lance Madewell, some other guys, the Great Nuka.